was 1978. The Bee Gees, along with their producer Robert Stigwood, were still riding off the immense success of Saturday Night Fever and its soundtrack. Not only did they win 5 Grammys that year, but they were also topping the charts left and right. And at one point in March, 5 of the top 10 Billboard songs were theirs. Simply put, they were unstoppable. Of course, with this massive success, Stigwood wanted to milk the Bee Gees' popularity for as much as it was worth, and then some. And that he did, by getting them, along with Peter Frampton, to star in possibly one of the weirdest movies ever made. Actually, calling this a movie is probably being a bit too generous. In all reality, it's more like a feature-length compilation of music videos loosely strung together with a seemingly simple yet oddly convoluted story. Basically, we are told that Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band used to be the celebrated marching band of Heartland. They were able to bring happiness to the town and even had the ability to stop soldiers from fighting in World War I. I'm not even joking. They actually say that in the film.
Think above and beyond the call of duty. Sgt. Pepper was awarded the coveted Golden Eagle.
Anyway, when the band leader died, he left the musical instruments to the town, which apparently have the ability to let the people of Heartland live happily ever after. So Peter Frampton, Billy Shears, and the Bee Gees, or the Hendersons, decide to reform the band. As you can probably already tell, all the characters in this film are named after people in Beatles songs. And yes, it gets extremely annoying. The musical numbers act as the dialogue in this film, with the only spoken parts being narration by Mr. Kite, who's played by George Burns, to clear up the film's plot points and provide some clarification. This is mostly due to the fact that both Billy Shears and the Hendersons are supposed to be American, when the Bee Gees and Peter Frampton all have English and Australian accents. Anyway, back to the film. The band quickly gains popularity, and they are invited to Hollywood to sign a record deal. At this point, we probably reach one of the funniest moments in the entire film. The band members are reluctant to sign the contract, so the record producer provides booze and women to try to change their minds. While this is happening, we are introduced to Mr. Mustard, who is the villain of the film. He is instructed by some mysterious computer to steal the instruments for a reason we don't really ever understand. I could raise quite a few questions here, but I found it better not to think too hard about this film, as it struggles to barely make sense as it is. Anyway, to keep the summary short, the film focuses on the band's struggles with the music industry as well as saving their town. I don't want to spoil too much of the rest of this film, as parts of it truly need to be seen to even be believed. Toward the end, the film takes a really dark turn and starts dealing with death and even attempted suicide, but then everything's magically fixed and everybody acts like nothing ever happened, so they can go and do yet another musical number. Like I said before, from a story standpoint, this movie is nonsensical and pretty much insane. But you don't watch this movie for a great story. The way I see it, there are 2 major reasons to watch this film. The first is to be amazed at how ridiculous the plot actually is, but the second is actually for the musical performances. While the movie as a whole is pretty much a train wreck, there are actually some decent covers. While not all of the songs are nearly as good as the original Beatles versions, I actually prefer a few of them over the original recordings. A highlight of mine being Robin Gibb's version of Oh Darling.
Oh, darling. Please believe me, I'll never do you no harm.
The soundtrack was released before the film and actually stayed at the number 5 spot in the album charts for 6 weeks straight, making it a multi-platinum record. Yet, as soon as the film was released and the negative reviews came out, the album suffered along with it. In conclusion, I think this film was worth watching as an oddity, if not anything else. It honestly amazes me that a film like this was even made, and it definitely feels like a product of the late 70s. If you're looking for a masterpiece to watch, this is definitely not the one, But if you want to see something that's different from anything you've ever seen before, this is definitely a film to check out. For WHS Now, this is Kyle Swartz signing off. Thanks for watching.